Salute, salute. Grand rising to all. Grand rising to all. All right. Salute to the eternal, indigenous, spiritual most high. Trolls, only God and your mama can love you. And last but not least, y'all know, one time. Yeah. I say one time. Yeah. I say one time. Got to start the morning off right, y'all. All right. All right, y'all. In remembrance of brother in the cut, here we go. Where's me gold? I needs me shillings so I control. And trolling we must, ladies and gentlemen. Trolling we must. So good morning to everyone. Welcome in. As you come in, please hit that like button. Oh, man, we are on it today, man. We are loaded with news. Listen, Mississippi is being exposed. Yeah, the racist construct of Mississippi, the racist construct of this country, it is all being exposed, ladies and gentlemen. It is all being exposed. The chickens are coming home to roost. Now, to add insult to injury, let's start with our first story. Out of Mississippi, three friends want to investigate Nolan Wells' demise themselves. You'll never guess who those three friends are. Cherry Shortcake Grand Rising.
Friends of Nolan Wells, who mysteriously died after a boating trip, say they want to investigate for themselves. That's according to attorneys for Warren Hudson, Jack Spatalo, and Morgan Seymour. The attorneys say the three want to visit Horn Island off the Mississippi coast. That's where Nolan Wells' body was discovered 2 days after that deadly 4th of July boating trip. It's possible the three are the same people who were with Wells that day. Attorneys for the three say they had nothing to do with Nolan's death and want to learn the truth of what exactly happened. An independent autopsy says the cause of Wells' death is undetermined. The county coroner says he found no obvious signs of foul play. Friends of Nolan Wells.
No obvious signs of foul play. That's funny because we heard that they couldn't rule out foul play. That's funny. This is why we don't trust mainstream media. Now, these friends have had over a month to show concern. These friends have had over a month to join the search for the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. Why start now? Why wait this late in the game? You know why? Because the pressure is on, ladies and gentlemen. The pressure is on. You've got Ben Crump snooping around town. You got too many content creators breaking this thing down. Pammy, good morning, sweetheart. How you doing? How you doing? So there's too many black content creators that's, doing the work and breaking this thing down and, raising fuss on the internet too. That's a fact. I've been saying that the media would be saying anything and lying about everything. You got that right. You got that right. You got that right. This is what we do. As we come in, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the like button, please. Let's hit the like button. Let's hit the like button. So, as we know that there are cameras on Horn Island. I'm doing good, and how are you? I'm doing better now, Pammy. I haven't saw you in a minute, so I'm doing better now. I like when my ladies are here, I like when the ladies show up. Just remember to hit that like button as we come in, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to keep this thing in Mississippi.
Inflation
We're going to
is
keep this
here,
in
and
Mississippi.
it sucks. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do something about it. Starting your business is a game changer.
We're going to keep this in Mississippi, although I do have other stories to cover, big stories too. Onto my stories that's going to make, anti-melanated people angry. Y'all know they always saying, we ain't paying reparations. We don't owe y'all nothing. Oh, yeah. Wait until you find out who is the next state to join in granting reparations for black folks. Oh, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. So no matter how much they cry about it, see, I keep telling y'all, they know the truth, and this country knows the truth. So eventually, if we keep our knees on their necks, we keep our foot on the gas pedals, we're going to get somewhere. If not in our lifetime, at least for our children and our grandchildren's lifetime. At least. Grand rising to all. Let's make sure we hit that like button, please. There's two moderators in here, so I know where those two lights came from. All right. Dilly, if you in here, you can hit that like button. You're here trying to recruit for your army. Hit that like button. This is Secret Service sound. Exclusive cameras found on Horn Island. Secret Service sound. Exclusive cameras found on Horn Island. I don't know why it's so hard to get people to hit that like button when they come in. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the least you can do. I'm up early. I'm working. You know, this just puts me in the algorithm. That's all it does. You know, that's all it does. Hit the like button. Let YouTube know I'm working. You know, don't have me sitting here for nothing. Unless you just came here to hate, please hit the like button.
Can you freestyle rap at all? Not yet. Doesn't it appear to be extremely coincidental that you guys arrest people right outside of Governor Newsom's press conference? Is this really just a show of power?
Y'all go subscribe to Secret Service Sound. I think it's called Samson's Place or something like that on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. This is a very quick special Samson's World. I'm Secret Service Sam, and I am here with Bree Lee. Let me bring her on quick. We've been trying to work this out. Let's see if I can get her up here. Oh, Lord. Well, let's see. Bree, are you there?
Now, if y'all not familiar with Bree Lee is the one who visited Horn Island, the port, Lover's Lane, Fort Bayou, everywhere. She went everywhere that the boat GPS said that the boys went, you know, while they were out with Nolan Wells. And everywhere she went, she found cameras, y'all. She found cameras. Cherry says, facts. I don't understand. It's easy. Hit the thumbs up. It's 2 more likes, even numbers of people in the room. This is what I'm saying. These are your haters. Those are more than likely Caucasians. They're Europeans, and they're put here to hate. Those are oppressors. So the minute they say something, I'm going to make sure we boot them up out of here. Those will be your oppressors.
Are you there, Bree? You look a little frozen. Hang on, everybody. How's everybody doing? If you don't know, Bree is the wonderful creator.
Hi.
Who? Okay, Bree, can you hear me? We're kind.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment for the people in the back, for those who may be remedial. Let's take a moment to practice proper etiquette. Please hit the like button as you enter the room. All that does is put this in the algorithm, okay? Let me find my place in the algorithm. Help me. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. School starts back today here where I live at. So, I mean, let's follow instructions, ladies and gentlemen. It's like the first day of school, literally. Let's follow instructions. Hit the like button and or leave. Hit the like button and or leave.
I'm getting a little stutter here. Bree, can you hear me? Hold on, everybody. Bree is the content.
Moderators, if y'all find out who those people are and they're not hitting the like button, let's definitely hide them. Let's ban them from the live stream. We're not even gonna play with these people, man. Let's ban them from the live stream. If they can't hit the like button, find out who they are, and let's get them out of here.
And creator who went around Fort Bayou, Horn Island, and is showing that there are cameras everywhere on Horn Island. She just came off the feed.
Cherry Shortcake says, shake my head. It's too early to work on my nerves. Hit the like button or get out. Exactly. Juan V the second. What's good, brother? Ain't saw you in a minute. Juan V says, salute Uncut in chat. Glad to be back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can't let them stop our show. I tried to retire, man, but they wouldn't let me. I tried to leave them alone, but they stayed in my inbox. They stayed in my inbox, so y'all know me. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm all about the clap back. I'm all about the clap back. I'm Sheena, baby boy. I'm all about the clap back. You understand what I'm saying?
We're gonna pull her right back on. I apologize.
My mama a Leo and my daddy was a Scorpio. That makes me one hell of a Capricorn, y'all. I'm all about the clap back.
As I have to take my daughter here to soccer in about 8 minutes, so I'm trying to get you guys a hot 8-minute little show, so we can talk to her on her firsthand account of all the cameras that she found on Horn Island. Let me see if I can get her to pop back on here. Hang on. But if you haven't seen her video, she went all around Mississippi, showing at the docks there's cameras. There's cameras at the houses that are all around, showing that somebody is hiding something. Somebody is not being honest with us, because there has to be more footage. Oh, thank you for the forehead. Yeah, you know what I did? I put one of those zip patches on, you guys, and so my skin cancer is getting better. Bree, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. I have terrible service. I'm so sorry.
That's all right, Bree. Well, let's not waste any time. Start just telling everybody about your video and about the cameras that are all around, and just, I'll let you kind of speak.
Okay, so I started at the east side of Mississippi where Pascagoula meets Mobile. So I started at State Line,
Okay.
and I worked my way down to Biloxi. I started at the Pascagoula Pier just so you guys could get a viewpoint of Chevron and Petty Boy Island, which was to the left. To the right, you would see the Horn Island Pass. So it was like, you couldn't really see Horn Island from there yet. So then I got back in the car and
What if you could make a song using only your voice? Let's start with the drums.
Let's not.
Whoa. We had her. Yep.
Okay, and then I traveled more I traveled more west. I went to Gaucher, where I went to Bellefontaine Road. That is
Okay.
where you can really start to see Horn Island. And there's a famous doctor, I don't want to dox his address, but
Yeah, don't say his name, or anything.
yeah, that big white house belongs to a very famous doctor. You know that they have cameras surrounding that area. It's very gated, very, very, very secure. So
are you
when
saying that the boys would have been seen on some of these cameras? Is that what you're saying? This is where they pass by?
I'm saying that it is possible that you can see boats, maybe not theirs specifically, but you would see boats in passing if you were to zoom in on those cameras on a good, clear day, maybe from Lake Mars.
Mm-hmm.
More viewpoint, maybe not Bellefontaine, but definitely from Lake Mars, because even if you Google, can you view Horn Island from Lake Mars, it does tell you on a clear day. And with my iPhone 16 Pro Max, I was able to zoom all the way in and see like sand, trees, all that. So I
when
feel
you
like
were
you could
saying
see
there's-
boats from Lake Mars and on, for sure.
So you're saying from
Maybe not
satellite
Bellefontaine, but
imagery.
definitely from Lake Mars and on.
Are you saying from satellite imagery
I don't
you can
know.
see on the Horn Island? Is there any actual cameras on Horn Island?
At one point, I thought that they had like, what are they called, flock cameras? But I'm not positive on that, because I feel like we have enough hurricanes and people like to see that footage and to get destruction, to get views of destruction.
Yo, I got to go back and find this story, but when she mentioned flock cameras, I want to let y'all know exactly how they're using these flock cameras. So I'm going to let this roll, and I'm going to go find this story. You guys would not believe they actually use these flock cameras to basically surveil a guy for no reason who was leaving, I think, Wisconsin, where marijuana is not legal, and he was going to Michigan where marijuana is legal, and the whole time they pinged him on these flock cameras. They waited till this man got nearly back home from Michigan and pulled this man over and arrested him for it, y'all. I saw it on Dr. Rashard Ritchie's. What is it? Indisputable, undisputable. Yo, be careful out here, man. Be careful. Not only do they have your cell phones now that they can use against you, they are using these flock cameras against people. They are using these flock cameras. Oh, I'm going to play this. I'm going to go off topic here because I really want y'all to hear this. Y'all know whenever I say something, I like to prove it. I need y'all to hear this. We'll get back to Nolan Wells. We'll get back to Mississippi. But I need y'all to hear this. That just reminded me, man. Yeah, it's illegal as hell. I remember I saw it on Dr. Rashard Ritchie. For those who follow, I think it's called Indisputable, Undisputable. I'm pretty sure y'all are familiar with it. Very popular platform. Oh yeah. This is crazy. I'm going back through my history, y'all. I've got so many things to go through here, y'all. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. But I want to go right into that. Okay, that's Rashard Ritchie, but that's not him. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, that's not, oh, that's him, but that's not the story. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Because that right there just jogged my memory. And that was a crazy story to listen to. Have I passed it? Okay, I'll find it. I think it's called Indisputable. Indisputable. Yeah, there he is. All right, I'll find it. And I already have a story from here to run anyways. I have a story from his platform to run anyways. Here it is. Okay, I found it, ladies and gentlemen.
How to go from $300 a month on AC to almost $0. We built this portable cooling system that can drop a room's temperature by 30 degrees in just 90.
This is a hell of a story. A man gets arrested for buying marijuana in a state where it's legal to buy marijuana and then traveling back home across state lines. The cop that did this used flock cameras to arrest the man buying some damn marijuana in a state where it's legal. Here's the story.
Wisconsin police used flock to track a man across state lines into Michigan, where weed is legal, and back into Wisconsin, where weed is not. And they used the fact that he went to Michigan as the pretext to search his car for a weed arrest. So this is pulled from court records that I obtained. It basically follows this man from Green Bay down here. The first flock hit happened right here. And that was at 2 p.m. on April 26th, 2025. They then tracked him up Route 41, which is this road right here. They tracked him going north, and they got flock hits all along the way. So there's one Brown Road and US 41. Then they tracked him up to Marinette. And so this right here is the state line between Wisconsin and Michigan. This is the state line right here. And they tracked his car going into Michigan. And then a few hours later, caught him coming back into Wisconsin. They used this as the...
No probable cause, y'all. No probable cause. No reason whatsoever. No probable cause. Just because you have the technology, you're spying on people in their private life, going about their day, going about their business. Going about their business.
Pretext to pull him over and search his car. He was ultimately pulled over right around here.
What are we doing? Put it up full mass. According to 404 Media, police in Wisconsin, they decided to use flock cameras to determine that a man who quote, travels to Michigan frequently, where marijuana is legal, then he travels back to Wisconsin, where it is illegal. They then used his travel across state lines as tracked by these flock cameras as part of the probable cause justification to search his car for marijuana. He was eventually arrested for simple possession of marijuana. The searches came to light in a Wisconsin criminal complaint against Edward Abrams Phillips, who was wanted for bail jumping on domestic violence charges. But the criminal complaint makes clear that beyond the bail jumping and domestic violence charges, police specifically studied Abrams Phillips' interstate travel to create the pretext of searching his car for marijuana. The bail jumping charge was actually dismissed. Abrams Phillips was criterion for, Abrams Phillips found guilty due to possession, of the criteria of possession of marijuana.
That is illegal as hell. That is illegal as hell. What was your probable cause to even follow him through those flock cameras? How many Americans are they following a day through these flock cameras? Come on, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. If that happened to a YT, man, y'all already know they'll be around here pulling them damn cameras down. Y'all, they are profiling us through these flock cameras. Through these flock cameras and drones. I see drones sitting over my place all the time. Look like stars in the sky, but it's sitting too low to be a star. With a 360 radius. There's no more privacy here. There's no more hiding. There's no more sovereignty. It's like we're being studied so that we can be replaced. Because we see AI is expanding, y'all. AI is getting to be a big thing here. I bet that's how they got me leaving my house when I was in cardiac arrest. Probably those flock cameras, man. This is the government, man. This is the government, but let's not forget who controls the government. This is a choice. This is a choice right here. You're intruding, you're impeding on people's private lives, man. Let's get back to it.
That's it. That's according to the court records, nothing else. Now, here's why this is dangerous. Obviously, if this stands, you have precedent, okay? That means that your local police department is able to investigate you outside of their known jurisdiction. Not only outside of their known jurisdiction.
Facts.
But also across state lines, which typically...
Facts. That right there is illegal. Let's hit the like button as we come in, ladies and gentlemen. Every single law enforcement department has a jurisdiction. Now, because of these flock cameras, they are following you and investigating you outside of their local jurisdictions. Outside, man, y'all don't understand. These law enforcement departments, you know, they're becoming militant. You can't turn the military against the people. We saw that attempt, but you can't do it. So why not weaponize law enforcement against the people? They're making more contact with, you know, the public than anyone else. Y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Typically would require the federal government to get involved once a crime reaches a state-to-state dynamic. However, they're utilizing an investigative tool in order to test the system, and marijuana is the case. The complaint explains that Abrams Phillips was tracked via Flock's network over...
All y'all out there, you know, doing your daily things to live and traveling state to state, You know what I mean? I don't want to say too much on here, but y'all peep game. Y'all need to understand. Y'all need to understand. Y'all need to understand technology. Y'all need to understand how they are associating AI now in law enforcement. I don't want to say too much, but people travel. You know what I'm saying? People travel. People travel to come up. All right? Cherry shortcake. We're in the bubble of cameras, basically. We're paying to be open and life-threatening and ending attempts and attacks 24/7 and working together as a whole modern-day clan, law enforcement, military as a whole. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Where I live, they wear military tactical gear and use military tactics to attract people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. And this ain't a black thing or a white thing right here. This is an American citizen thing. But you gonna have your YTs in here. Yolanda, good morning, sweetheart. I'm glad to finally catch you. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I don't know why I said good morning. Grand Rising. All right. But we got to understand this ain't even about race right here. This is like us versus the government. But we got to understand that there'll be other demographic of people who be happy about this because, of course, they're not being watched. They're not being followed. They're not being profiled. They have a privilege. They have entitlement. They're donors to law enforcement. Their children and their fathers and their grandfathers were all crooked police. So, of course, this doesn't bother them. They're going to be happy. They're going to be happy about this. This doesn't bother them.
The course of the day to determine that he drove from Wisconsin to Michigan, the known source state for marijuana, as it is once again legal there. The complaint states, adding that previous flock gets indicated that he travels to Michigan frequently. Please note that using flock, they were able to track Abrams Phillips driving from Wisconsin to Michigan, then back to Wisconsin over the course of several hours, where he was pulled over and arrested. The flock searches and arrest happened in April 2025. Just a reminder, there's nothing criminal about going to a state frequently and coming back home. It is not illegal. It is not probable cause just because you travel. And you have the right of interstate travel. We don't talk about this fundamental right enough, but you have the right as a citizen.
That is why it's called the interstate.
To travel to whatever state you choose, however many times you choose. It's the right of interstate travel and interstate commerce. It is not difficult to imagine police in one state using flock to track a resident of their state across state lines to, for example, obtain an abortion that is legal in one state but not in another. Last year, 404 Media reported on police in Texas who searched more than 80,000 cameras across Flock's nationwide network for a woman who had a self-administered abortion. The case is also concerning, considering that Flock cameras have popped up outside of marijuana dispensaries in Michigan. The Jars Cannabis Dispensary in Madison Heights, Michigan, went viral.
This is crazy, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Boy, you at this point, you better stay in your house. You better stay in your house, because the minute you walk out that door, man, we on some enemy of the state type shit now, right now. Y'all remember that Will Smith movie, Enemy of the State? Y'all remember that's an old Will Smith movie, man. I forgot who the other actor was in there with him, man. Real popular white guy, older white guy. Real good, man. Real good. Played lots of movies. Man, we are now living in enemy of the state, man. We are all enemies of the state, man. This is crazy. You want privacy? You better stay inside your home. They have cameras, drones, everything aimed at your front door, aimed at your vehicles. Think about if you're a criminal on the run. You ain't running too far. You ain't gonna get nobody to drive you and drop you off either, because them flock cameras gonna ping you. You know what I'm saying? Them flock cameras gonna ping you. They gonna ping you. They gonna find you. You know what I mean? But if you can do this, man, tell me how the hell you don't know what happened to Nolan Wells. Tell me how the hell all these black people, you know what I'm saying, being being found, extended from trees in a vertical position, and you don't know who unalived them. You didn't see anything. You know what I'm saying?
Harold this week for putting a quote no flock zone sign in front of a flock camera in their parking lot. Quote, we share our community's concerns about increased surveillance, which is why we placed the no flock zone sign in front of the camera to block its ability to record.
Kima, I hear you, and watch how this story ends. Watch what they do. And good to see you, Kima. Watch what they do.
End quote. The dispensary said in a public statement, quote, after we installed our no flock zone sign, the city issued a demand letter warning of sanctions if we do not remove the sign within 48 hours. Here's some interesting news. Every flock licensed reader camera operated by the Winona Police Department, that's in Minnesota, has been sawed off and stolen in what investigators believe was a coordinated theft. All 8 cameras were taken on August 1st. That's according to the local police department. Each camera.
See, the people are fighting back. We want to live our private lives. They are already out here destroying these cameras, man. Based on stories like this, I don't know how the government thinks they're going to win this against the people. You know what I mean? But that is a little bit too much right there. That is a little bit too much. You have the right to a private life. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is what I heard. That's what I remember. That's what their forefathers said. Now, I'm not sure that applies to us black folks, us indigenous, but that's what I heard. And they lie nowadays and say we all are created equal. I heard that lie too. And I ain't seen that truth live itself out yet, but I heard that lie. You know what I'm saying? All my indigenous family, my FBA family can understand what I mean. I have to change up how I talk on here, you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure the indigenous family knows what I mean.
Is valued at about $80,000, putting the total loss to $24,000. The cost falls directly on the local police department and their budget. Yeah, you hate to see that. There's a pattern of communities resisting hyper surveillance. All right.
All right, family, I need y'all to tap that screen for me. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Pick a membership package. We not gonna let them shut us down, y'all. We not gonna let them shut us down. I just got to start seeing support on here from the family. I know it's hard on the indigenous. I know it's hard. But y'all have to understand, I go on other people's platforms too. And I see lots of people that's inside my platform actually supporting other bigger platforms. I need that same support here. I ain't gonna call too many names out. I ain't gonna call no names, but I know who they are. That's sending super chats to have their comments read. At least over here, you're moderators. At least over here, you're moderators. So why not support a platform where you're actually a moderator? You're over there paying people to read your comment as a normal person on these bigger platforms. Over here, you have a moderator tool. I interact with everyone. I need that same support. Don't have me over here working for free, man. And then I see everybody else on Introvert Rockstar and No Captivity with Freezy and Street Media TV and all. I ain't hating on these platforms. They're successful. I'm just saying, show the same love and same respect here. I've seen about 5 people. I know exactly who they are, and those 5 people have never contributed to this platform, and they all have moderator badges. And that's diabolical, y'all. Support the cause, man. That's all I'm saying. Support the cause. I'm working. I'm up early. I'm giving y'all this information. I get approached by racists too because of the type of work and the content I put out. Don't wait. I'm extended from an oak tree to give me my flowers. Don't wait until there's a gift and gold circulating to bury me. Show that support, family. All right. While we're on indisputable. Okay, we're gonna go back to the cameras. Let's finish up with the cameras that they found on Horn Island and everything.
So I'm saying, I'm trying to get off these blood pressure drugs because I know it's not doing me any good. I need to feel myself again.
Feel yourself again?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel myself because I move around and help myself, but I do have a helper also in the house.
Yes.
Most of the field.
On the Horn Island, is there any actual cameras on Horn Island?
At one point, I thought that they had what are they called, flock cameras, but I'm not positive on that because I feel like we have enough hurricanes and people like to see that footage.
These damn flock cameras, man. These damn flock cameras, man. Between these flock cameras and these drones, police don't even have to work anymore. Police don't even have to work anymore. It's posted, sweetheart. $, Mr. Uncut Consciousness. And thank you in advance. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you very much.
To get destruction, to get views.
I'm a smaller platform, y'all. I don't have the technology they have. I don't have the team and, all of that type of stuff. I'm still building. I'm grinding. This is the grinding phase. This is the grinding phase. But if everyone that came in and out of here at least contributed $1 a piece, that makes a difference. That makes a difference. If everyone that comes in and out of these live streams contributed just $1 a piece, that makes a difference. Then I can go to things like Restream, and I can go get an actual PC, which I plan on doing anyways, and then I can compete with other YouTubers. I'll be able to do a lot of things that they do. Right now, in order to share my screen on a live stream, I use a laptop. My laptop doesn't have that high streaming capability like that, so it buffers. But I'm working. I stay consistent. I can be a lot more consistent than what I am, I admit that. But I stay consistent with my message. I'm working, y'all. I respect y'all. I just ask y'all to respect what I do. We family, we tribe. If we don't hold us down, ain't nobody gonna hold us down. And if we don't lift ourselves up, ain't nobody else gonna lift us up. And those are facts, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if everybody else is gonna lift us up while we're here with these stories right now, worried about flock cameras and camera footage for Nolan Wells. We hadn't even talked about the 15-year-old little baby that was just found unalive in a park in Mississippi as well. You know what I'm saying? A 15-year-old little baby, man. Mississippi again. Let's not forget Trey Reed was Mississippi. Come on, man. There's a lot going on. And listen, if this type of reform, if this type of exposure, if this type of we versus the government thing was gonna take effect, we the indigenous versus racism was gonna take, man, Mississippi is a great damn star. It is a great damn place to start, ladies and gentlemen. It would have been Mississippi or Texas for starters. It would have been Mississippi or Texas for starters. Then you can travel on down here to Florida too. But Mississippi is the best place to start. You don't understand. These culprits in Mississippi are used to doing whatever they want to do, and they're used to just cleaning it up and not having to ask any questions. But when you have someone prominent, like Ben Crump walking around asking questions, and now you got other people doing investigations, and you don't know exactly what they're investigating, now you got to make it look like you are doing the work. I played a story earlier where Nolan Wells' 3 friends that was with him wants to go back and start doing their own investigation to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. He was with you. So what you mean to say is you're going to be going back, snooping around, cleaning up evidence so that Ben Crump and law enforcement can't find anything against you to convict you on. So you're going to go back and start tampering with evidence. But mainstream media, WAPT 16 out of Jacksonville, Mississippi says, These guys want to show concern and they want to do their own independent investigation, and they're going back to Horn Island and they're doing this and they're tampering with evidence. We ain't stupid. We're not stupid. They're trying to protect these guys. We're not stupid. And guess what? We were all wondering how that grandfather talked to that captain on that sea tow call, right? Ladies and gentlemen, do y'all know that Jerry Ackerson, the grandfather of, I believe it was Warren, one of the boys, all of them look alike to me, one of them, but he was actually there. He was there. There was 4 boats. He had 2 in the water. One was driven by Bart and one was driven by him. Y'all heard Warren say he didn't drive, he rode with Bart. But what Warren didn't say was that was his grandfather's boat that Bart was driving. Jerry Ackerson, something like that, something crazy. He was there. He was there. I'm wondering what other crimes they covered up many. This goes all the way back to Emmett Till, man. This goes back to Medgar Evers, and we're gonna go through the story of Medgar Evers. I've got to. Listen, I'm in no hurry. I'm loaded with stuff this morning. I'm in no hurry because, like I said, Mississippi is going to be exposed. It's going to be exposed. It is time, y'all. It is time, and these people are used to doing what they want to do, how they want to do it, and not answering and being accountable for nothing and to no one. And we got to break that ego, y'all. We got to break that ego. We got to tear down that wall, y'all. They ain't gonna keep doing this to us, man. Listen, I've talked to my 70-year-old mother. I've talked to a 66-year-old friend. I talked to my 71-year-old uncle. I've talked to a 48-year-old sister. I've talked to a 25-year-old brother. I've talked to a 32-year-old brother. You know what all these people have told me? They said they have never saw peace in this country. And they have also never, ever, ever saw someone non-black extended vertically from a tree. Those are facts, y'all. Those are facts, y'all. I've never saw peace, and I've never saw no one but us extended from these, these oak trees. Why just us? Racism doesn't exist, though. Racism doesn't exist, though. I want y'all to take time to tell me if y'all have ever seen a story of a non-black individual dangling from a tree in this country. Now, I read in history they did it to John Brown. But I need y'all to put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it. Put a 2 in the chat if you've never seen it. I know none of y'all have seen peace. We've never had peace in this country. We've never had peace in this country. But how many have seen it? Exactly, 2s. No one's seen it. No one's seen it. And then they like to call these things self-inflicted and undetermined. We're not doing this to ourselves. See, there's someone else, a 2. We've never saw none. Do y'all know how these people would act if they saw one of themselves vertically dangling from a tree? Do you know how quick Trump would take to the podium of the White House and claim that they're under attack? Can you imagine what Jake Lane would be out here saying? Can you imagine how they would react if they saw them instead of seeing us? So I think we have a right to react the way we react to when we see us. No one should go through that. No one should be forced to endure that, but we know where it comes from. And maybe that's why you've never seen anyone non-black extended. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. It shouldn't happen. I'm not condoning violence. I'm not saying go out here and do something stupid and jeopardize your livelihood. No, I'm just speaking factually. It doesn't mean that someone, listen, their own people are capable of doing that to them. You see what I'm saying? But we've just never seen it in this country. Imagine how they would feel, like how we said, man, if that was 3 black people and a white guy went out with them and a YT didn't come back, man, they'll do such and such to these black people. Man, if you saw a non-black body extended from a tree in this country, man, boy, they gonna go crazy. They gonna go crazy, boy. They gonna go crazy. They would go crazy. Yes, they would lose their minds. Maybe I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that because I don't want them to think. I agree with you. I'm with you, but I'm not going to read that because I don't want them to think I'm advocating for. I am not condoning violence. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just merely stating facts. But when people get fed up, people do get fed up, and they do say do unto others as you would have them do that to you, unto you. But that is my disclaimer. That is my disclaimer. You know what I mean? That is I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to leave that right there. But I agree with you. I agree with you. And I'm just reading content. Okay. I'm just reading content, YouTube. All right. All right. Miss Jenkins says, yes, they would lose their minds. Maybe it needs to happen to let them know how it feels. I mean, you don't know what it's like to lose someone until you also lose someone. You don't know what it's like to be poor until you become poor. You don't know what it's like to be profiled and discriminated against until you're profiled and discriminated against. So I mean, I can see your talking point. I can see your talking point. But I've never seen peace. I've never seen peace in this country, and I've never saw non-black people extended vertically from tree branches. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we're talking about superior and inferior, maybe that's their way of showing that they think they are superior because they can do that to us. That we have to always, these people used to take pictures of us vertically extended from these trees and make postcards and all this other stuff. Can you imagine if the tables turned and that happened in this country and black people gathered to take pictures and we put it all on social media like they just did to Sister Tasia Fortune? Oh yeah, they put it on social media. They sure did. The sister that they just found in Jackson, Mississippi, yeah, they put it on social media. Can you imagine if we actually did that to them? Man, they would have a fit. They be out here like the purge, I'm trying to tell you. But I agree with Sister Yolanda, you know. You treat people how you want to be treated. So, I mean, listen. Again, I'm not condoning any violence, no, none of that. I'm not advocating for any violence. Don't nobody go out there and do nothing stupid. You know what I mean? I'm just really having a common sense talk. We have not saw it. We have not saw it. And it's almost like we're just going to keep taking it and keep complaining and keep crying every time we see one of us unalived by one of them while they run around and practice this entitlement and this privilege and act like they have the right to do what they're doing to us and it can't be done to them. The same way they can love us, we can love them. The same way they support us, we can support them. But the same way you hate us, we can hate you. The same thing you do to us, if we weren't smarter than you, if we didn't want to lose the little that we had, we could do the same thing to you if we chose to. But we're not a combative people. We'll defend ourselves, but we ain't finna go out here and crash out and do something stupid. We know who runs the system. We know who runs the system. It's almost like if you have to defend yourself against, I'm gonna say a racist, y'all, and you're indigenous, you're brown, like us, it's almost like you have to go ahead and take them out. and get that Carmelo time. You have to do the same thing Carmelo Anthony did, because the system is going to take advantage of you anyways, because they run the system. You know, Yolanda says our people have been suffering for no reason but jealousy and hate. Yes, yes. And Cherry Shortcake, I agree with you. They wouldn't know how to act. They would, if they saw that, they would know. Man, can y'all imagine? We've seen many of our people extended vertically from tree branches. Can you imagine? All it would take for them is one. And man, listen, I'm telling you, it'd be a crazy YT person somewhere that'll do it to another YT person. And then they'll frame it like a black person did it. But you would see that whole community go crazy. That right there would man, listen, that power structure, that right there will reset that power scale. What they're doing right now when they do that to our people, that is a power trip. They are telling you, we run this, we're in power, don't forget where you come from. Can you imagine if they had to suffer the same thing? If somebody somewhere was like, man, I'm free, I don't give a, you know what I'm saying, I ain't going for that. Just imagine like a Tukey Wilson or somebody still being alive with a I don't give a attitude. And next thing you know, every time you see a black soul extended vertically, you see a non-black soul extended. Imagine if this starts happening in this country. Where will we get, ladies and gentlemen? If we think we watching our backs now from flock cameras and cricket police and 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 whatever else out here, drones and you know what I mean? Come on, is that the America we really want to live in? You know what I'm saying? Is that the America we really want our children being raised in, regardless of race? Cherry Shortcake says, that's facts. It's always about jealousy and hate by their by their understanding. Everyone is created differently, and there is no way it's okay to perform nonviolent actions because there's not right. I'm telling you, I thought about it the other day, man. I asked so many people. My mom just turned 70. My uncle is 71. And to hear them say that they've never seen it, they've never seen peace in this country, and they've never seen a non-black person extended for, I'm like, boy, it sounds like people didn't get fed up enough. You mean to tell me all the Stono Rebellion and all these different, you know what I'm saying, where there was slaves actually rebelled, you mean to tell me Nat Turner didn't even pull that one off? I'm just saying, like, damn, it made me feel kind of weak. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying go do it. No, I'm just saying historically we have never seen it. But I've read the story and many documentaries on John Brown. And they did that to John Brown and like 5 or 6 of his children who fought on behalf, you know what I'm saying, of the slaves. You know, they didn't agree with slavery. They were white. They didn't want to own slaves. And they rebelled too. Y'all can look that up, man. I think they did the same thing to John Brown, so he's the only one that I know of. But I'm just saying the things that we suffer through this country, and we're still docile people, you know, I don't know. I kind of think that's why they keep doing it, y'all. So I think the way we're doing it in Mississippi right now, and the way we're doing it on social media, and the way we're holding our money economically now, the way we're boycotting, you know, and doing this wealth transfer into black businesses, I think we're onto something. This extending my people from goddamn trees gonna stop though. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't nothing that pissed me off more than seeing that. Y'all don't understand. I have to stay away from social media. I have to like really get my mind right when I see that. Cause in my mind, like, who the fuck are you to think you can do that to somebody else? And like it can't be done to you if it wasn't some crazy person around here. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy who did that to the tourist lady on that bus or subway or something they were on. We already knew the guy was loony. I think he poked her and unalived her for no reason. She was minding her business. That sister should still be here. He was dead ass wrong. But imagine a crazy person like him being out here and catching somebody, and then he is hoisting them vertically from a tree branch, and they are non-black. Oh my God. Every black person in this country would be under attack. Oh my God. They wouldn't care if you was a good black person, a bad black person, a red bone, mocha. They wouldn't care if you was Christian, Muslim. They wouldn't care if you had locks and goatees, if you was bald from alopecia. They wouldn't care. Oh, they be on, man, listen, no George Floyd, but they be on our necks. So why aren't we on their necks? Why aren't we exercising the same distaste and disgust and displeasure? And I'm not saying violently. I'm saying just start speaking up and speaking out. Start speaking up and speaking out. I'm not advocating for violence. I don't need Homeland Security and the FBI showing up to my house. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying the same way that they would be pissed if it happened to them, we have a right to be pissed because it always seems to be happening to us. And it seems like they should understand that. The Metcalf family understands what it's like now. The Metcalf family understands what every black family in this country is suffering from someone they've lost. From Tamir Wright's family to Michael Brown Jr. to Trayvon, you know, there's many. It goes on and on. Sonia Massey, the list goes on and on. There's an empty seat at the dinner table in those black homes, and now there's an empty seat at the dinner table in that white Metcalf home too. So they understand. They understand. All of this just needs to stop, though. Let's get back to this, y'all.
Destruction. I feel like there would be flock cameras for that, but I'm not sure on that. But I do know that a lot of those houses that are along the coast have cameras. They're multi-million-dollar homes. They have to.
Mm-hmm. And do you think...
I'm going to say this, though. I ain't going to lie. If by chance I live long enough and I ever see somebody non-black extended, listen, even if one of their own do it, or let's say an Asian do it, or just somebody who mad at their community. I'm not saying us black folks. But let's just say that did happen. I'm not going to lie. I'm running out there with my iPhone 16. I'm taking pictures. I'm making postcards. I'm making memes. I'm doing all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whoever I'm with, I'm going to hand her some scissors. Like, go over there and castrate that boy. They do the same thing to them they did to us. Come on, children, let's smile in front of that. I'm telling you, I'm going to take that thing back to the 1940s, boy. We are not going to be, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. But I'm telling you, if it happens to happen and I'm living, boy, I'm telling you, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put it on postage stamps. I'm telling you. That's going to be a meme. I'm going to take down this Uncut Squad little thing right here. And y'all going to see a blurred picture of, okay, y'all play with it. Let that happen in this country. But I'm going to do what Tupac said. I'm going to pour out a little liquor, boy. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to take all kind of photos and videos. What? Let that happen. I'm going to be out there crip walking, boy. You know what I'm saying? What? All the gangbangers going to pull up. Everybody going to come together. We see something like that happen. Come on, black folks. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Boy, we see that happen. Something like that actually happened to them. They going to be pissed. And we going to be like, hey, it wasn't us. But at the same time, hey, it feels good to see it wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? We ain't the ones that did it, and it didn't happen to us, so we can enjoy it, just like we can enjoy this sun no matter how much hotter it gets. I'm just saying, boy, don't mess around and let that happen, and I'm living, boy. I'm gonna be the first one y'all purge, because I'm gonna be all out there smiling in front. Boy, I'm telling you. I'm gonna go rent a dog. Just to, you got to take a picture with a dog. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your dog and you know what I'm saying, children. You got to look happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna set up a dog on vegan burger machine. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have a whole food truck out there, bro. We gonna invite vendors to that, boy. If that ever happened, Man, listen, man. Man, listen, man. Man, listen. You let that happen and I'm living. I'm telling you, boy. That'll be history for me. That'll be history for them. That'll be history for a lot of us. And again, let me get my disclaimer. I ain't saying go out there and do nothing to nobody. I'm just literally hypothetically, allegedly saying, if it did happen, if some crazy person tried to pull that off one day and it happened, oh, I'm gonna enjoy that. That is all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
You said at the Fort Bayou, I think one of the docks, they had cameras there. Can you just run us through why you went to some of the locations you went, and you think that it would have been possible to have seen some of those boats potentially, is what you're saying?
Okay, so I went based off of Jay Morgan's audio of the findings of the location coordinates. That's how I started it.
Okay.
And I just went to where she pointed out where they could have possibly have been. Excuse me. So the marina, the Biloxi Marina, I went there, and in order to get in there, you go through, and it says on as soon as you go in that the whole place is under surveillance, allegedly, right? There's a sign, it says it. Yeah. There's a sign, it says everything surveillance. So
Man, let me give one more disclaimer, man, because these vampires like to report people and twist people's statements and clip stuff. Man, leave people alone. Nobody in this country should have to worry about any of those type of evil, diabolical things happening to them. You understand what I'm saying? Leave people alone. No matter what race you are, no matter what your belief is, no matter what your sexual preference is, stay in your lane, keep your hands to yourself, and leave people alone. Mind your business. I'm not advocating for anything to happen to anyone of any race. I'm just saying if it did actually happen, that would be some monumental shit. That's all I'm saying. I don't need nobody knocking on my door, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody knocking on my door, man. Real talk. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now I got witnesses. Now I'm gonna play this same. Let the feds show up here. I'm gonna play this same live stream back and tell them listen for all my disclaimers. You know what I'm saying? Listen for all my disclaimers. Hell no, you can't put that on me. I said hypothetical and allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me I'm lying. All right. Grand Rising, Ro.
even in the back, there's cameras all along that yacht club they have back there. And then also, I went to the Ocean Springs dock because I had a feeling at Lake Mars there was cameras. So I was like, well, maybe there's cameras out at the Ocean Springs dock. And lo and behold, when I tell you every pavilion I walked to, there's one this way and one facing this way. So
Come on, y'all. Let's add some pressure to that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's add some pressure to that like button. Let's do some exercise. Let's do some push-ups on that like button, y'all. Let's do some push-ups on that like button.
Pavilion had 2 cameras on it. Every one of them. Facing this way and facing the water. And so I just think to myself, well, that has to catch something. Those are ran on solar. You see solar panels next to all these cameras. My whole property is ran on solar panel cameras. So I have flock cameras. We have house cameras, inside, outside. I got cameras right here. I mean, everywhere.
Right.
And I live in the poor. I'm poor. I can't imagine the rich security systems these people have. I'm just saying, like.
Sure. And do you live in Ocean Springs, or where in Mississippi do you live?
So, okay, so I live in Mississippi, but I'm not going to give the town that I live in. But
don't do that.
Ocean Springs. I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raised here. I went to school here. My first school was Oak Park Elementary. I went to Ocean Springs, Oak Park. I've been to Cedar Lake Christian Academy. I went there. I went to my high school years for St. Martin. Yeah, this is my hometown. Yeah.
And, and obviously, we want to keep you safe, but what are your opinions? Are
And
people
the
talking?
islands.
And are people talking around the area about what happened? Like, what is like the local feel of what's going on? And you know, because obviously,
I wish I could be a fly on the wall in a Klan meeting in Mississippi right about now. Oh, I want to hear everything they saying about Ben Crump. I want to hear how they talking about Nolan's parents. I want to hear how they talking about Nolan. I want to hear their plans and their cover-ups and what they discovered, you know, to help, you know, Nolan's little adversaries, his little fake friends. God dang, I wish I had a hidden flock camera in one of those meetings or something, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a spy camera in there. That'd be some entertaining sugar honey iced tea right there, boy. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like listening to a police dispatch call or so. That we got action. You know what I mean? Golly. I would love to do. Man, oh man, boy. I would love to be a fly on a wall. For real. You'll probably see old Jerry Ackerson walk up in there too with his Grand Wizard outfit on. You will see the DA. You will see Stacey Turner. You know what I'm saying? You go see the sheriff. You go see the governor. Hell, you might see the parents of them damn kids. You know what I'm saying? I went out with you might see them walk up in there with Klan suits too. It would be interesting. I don't know if I could stay calm. I don't. Hey, listen, I'm going to stay calm. Sometimes you got to know how your enemy is thinking. You got to know what they're planning. You know what I'm saying? It's called surveillance. It's called surveillance. You got to know how to be stealth, move in silence. You know what I mean? You got to contain them emotions. You got to contain them emotions. Emotions make you cry sometimes. You heard what H-Town said. You heard what H-Town said. Emotions make you cry sometimes.
most people think this could have been an accidental drowning, but what's odd is when all the boys lawyered up. So, like, what is the talk of the town?
Right. So, first of all, I'm banned from the Talk of the Town page.
I probably am too.
Damn, they got their white privilege revoked, y'all. They did it for the cause. Hey, salute to Secret Service Sam and salute to Bree Lee. You know what I'm saying? Y'all lost y'all white privilege cards on behalf of us black folks, and Bree Lee has an interracial child. So salute to both of them. They good folks. I support them. You know what I'm saying? I support them. I support them.
Hilarious.
They banned me so fast. It's so funny. So, but
I don't care what nobody say. We inviting them to the cookouts. You know what I'm saying? Secret Service Sam and Bree Lee. You know what I'm saying? And what's your other girl? The panda chick. J. Megan. Yeah. Hey, man, they invited to the cookout. They get a black card. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. You see how hard they out here going, you know what I'm saying, for these black lives, man? You know, they get a black card, man. I don't want to hear nothing, man. They invited. They invited. I don't want to hear nothing.
Mouth is bigger than a page. So I'd say people are split 50-50. I'd say half the people want to find out what happened and the other half think that he drowned. And while he may have, been drinking or using, it doesn't negate the fact that he was 18 and still didn't come home. So I just think that we deserve transparency no matter what happened. We need to know what happened. And those cameras can tell a lot. So what the fuck's going on? Excuse my language, but what is going on with those cameras? Because there's just so many cameras. And then a girl came in my comments on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen that, but there's a girl that said that her uncle does have cameras out on his dock. So did that footage get taken? I mean, that was just posted today. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And what do you think people who...
Do y'all think they've gotten to the camera footage? Y'all think the camera footage is compromised? It's gonna be all choppy and y'all know how the camera footage do, all grainy. You can't make out what y'all know what they do. What they gonna say? The cameras didn't work? What are they gonna say? Y'all know what they do. It's gonna be grainy footage. Watch, you ain't gonna be able to make out nothing. I guarantee you. We done saw this too many times, man. You ain't gonna be able to make out nothing. But if you have cameras How you don't know anything? Did Big Crump have access to those cameras? That's how I know they're gonna have grainy footage. That's how I know the first. Y'all remember when Charlie Kirk got unalived? The first thing they did was start taking those cameras down. Huh? Y'all remember that? I guarantee that's the first thing they did right here. They got those cameras. They gave those boys a clear path, clear sailing. I guarantee it. Clear sailing. Clear sailing. It's like having somebody on a computer monitor your getaway. Okay, police are up ahead. You're gonna make a right up here. Make a right. Okay, up here you're gonna make a left. They can see. They can see your waypoint. They're helping you. Love how they all got camera footage, but it never gets utilized, and it's always damaged or not able to be obtained. Oh, cherry shortcake. Sister Jackie asked about you, and she wanted your number to call you and talk to you because she loved herself some cherry shortcake and some black paint. So I need your permission to actually give her your number.
Who are saying, hey, he just drowned. Like, if he just drowned, I guess, don't you think the authorities would have come out and said, guys, he...
Okay, will do, because she just asked me last night, so I'll text it to her. I'll text it to her. She's always asking about you. I'll text it to her.
Drowned, here's the proof, here's the video, here's something. But what if people who just want to sweep this under the rug, why do you think they don't want to ask these questions?
My comeback to that is, well, why hasn't the throat been released yet?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, even past that.
I always will go to that.
But even past that, why do you think people are not asking these questions? You know, I think if anybody had this happen and all the boys, how they closed up their social media accounts, you know, nobody's accusing them of anything but just odd behavior after their best friend dies, which is why it's making us all question things. You know, when something happens, you say, you know, if you and I are sitting at dinner and you start choking and fall over, I'm like, I'm gonna call the paramedics. We're gonna get help for you right away. I'm not gonna start erasing my social media accounts and lawyer up and not talk to anybody. But what do you think, like Mississippi, do they just want this to go away? Or, you know, how do you see this going?
In my opinion, I feel like they just want it to go away. I don't think that they want to figure it out at all. And that's my opinion.
I mean, I think all of us have the same formulated opinion at this point. They definitely just want this to go away. They're used to this just going away. They're used to it. They're used to just brushing things like this under the rug. I'm actually sending your number to her now via text before I forget, because she's always concerned about you. So there it is. And Black Pint may want to speak with you as well. So if you're giving your permission, I'll actually send your number her direction too. Y'all seem to have a little trio thing going on here, y'all ladies.
Allegedly, I feel like they're not doing their job. I know several people
All right,
who reported stuff to Jackson County that went swept under the rug. I'm not scared, so I'm just gonna keep speaking up about what I find.
And what do you say to people who say, oh, they don't see color down in Mississippi, there's no racism down there? Do you think racism is still prevalent down there?
I know racism is prevalent because I have a biracial child and I experience racism.
And can you tell us?
Tell me. Mom, why are they looking at us?
Can you tell us about your experience with that?
Yeah, so when I moved here from San Diego, so I grew up here and I left for some years right before Katrina hit. My mom was a travel nurse. So for several years I lived in San Diego.
Ooh, her mama got paid. Boy, them travel nurses get paid. I could use me a travel nurse. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling sick right now. I think I got the flu. I need me a good looking hot travel nurse too. And some good tight form fitting scrubs. Ain't nothing like a woman in some scrubs. Snap back to reality. All right, y'all. We veer off sometimes, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay.
So when I had children, I had come back, and with my biracial child was the first time that I actually ever experienced racism like that. It was awful.
Wait, don't sell your home without this. Sarasota area sellers are making this one critical mistake, and it's costing them tens of thousands of dollars. Most who are selling in the Sarasota area.
We were out riding four-wheelers, and I went into the gas station to ask to use the bathroom with my daughter. And
yeah, them travel nurses, them mobile nurses, they get paid, boy. Listen, them checks be ridiculous, boy. Them checks be ridiculous. And them nurses be here today and in California tomorrow, in Oklahoma the next day, in New York City the week after. Man, listen, they get paid, boy. They get paid. That is such a smart career move, man. Them travel nurses get paid. For real. For real, for real. Oh, they get banked, y'all. They get banked. And they get to see the world. You know what I'm saying? They get to see the country. And they get to do, you know what I'm saying, good deeds, you know what I'm saying, for human beings, man. They out here saving lives, traveling to save lives. Can you imagine somebody traveling to you to help you live? You got people right next door to you where you live that don't want to help you live. Can you imagine a nurse and she's not doing it for the money? This is actually what she likes doing. Most women are natural nurturers. They bring life, you know what I'm saying, on earth. They give birth. So I mean, it's in her DNA. It's in a woman's DNA to be nurturing and loving and, you know what I'm saying, soothing. Man, man, can you imagine somebody traveling state to state to make sure you okay? You got city councilmen and commissioners and mayors and governors in your state that don't give a damn about you, but that travel nurse coming. Man, that's what's up, man. Salute to all the travel nurses, man.
they quite literally looked at her and said, no bathrooms available. This is before 2020, before COVID.
Wow.
So this was before they all shut down bathrooms. Yes. And then we get looks on the daily. People see her and then they look straight at me like,
What's going on? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, they calling you a mud shark, girl. They calling you a mud shark. I think that's the name they use. They got names for everything. I think they would call you a mud shark. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. As we come in, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit that like button. Let's hit that like button. Oh, I got another story coming up. It's going to tick everybody off. Well, not everybody. We going to love it. But, you know, it's going to be a certain demographic of people that's going to hate it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm going to get to that story right now. I just want to tick people off. You know what I'm saying? I just want to tick people off. You know what I'm saying? Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Oh, we finna get all the demons in here. Y'all get ready, moderators. Y'all tap. Listen. Y'all tap the screen.
Don't be scared. Here's how Monday.com makes agents clear, easy, and user-friendly.
California town.
Y'all tap the screen and hit the like button now. Now is when we need to get this in the algorithm. We need the trolls, y'all. We need the trolls for this story right here. We need the trolls. Come on, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Come on, fellas. We need the trolls. Tap the screen on this one right here. Ooh, we need the floodgates of hell to open up on this story right here. We need to make this one fun. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Reparations time.
Proves reparations.
Hold on.
Black
Hold on.
California town proves reparations for black people specifically. 1.3 million. Put it up for a max.
Yeah. Alameda County approves 1.3 million in reparations for displaced black Hayward families. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They keep talking about they don't owe nobody nothing. Oh, y'all owe. I keep telling y'all, y'all gonna pay too. Y'all gonna pay too. This is just the beginning. We got a victory, y'all. Let's celebrate. Let's run this victory lap real quick. Get my Dale Earnhardt Jr. on.
Allow me to count. Unanimously voted to begin sending cash payments over $1 million in reparations for displaced Black Hayward families. They were the last surviving homeowners forced out of Russell City, the unincorporated community dismantled by the county and the city of Hayward 60 years ago.
And let this prove to the YT supremacists, you've never been a slave. That's not the only thing associated with reparations, ignorant. We keep telling y'all time after time, y'all stole land and resources too. All of that has to be compensated and wrapped up inside of a reparations bill. See, I told y'all just be talking out the side of y'all necks. Don't tell us what we done experienced. You don't know what the hell we done experienced if you ain't never walked in our shoes. If you ain't never woke up black. Yeah, I keep telling y'all. Oh, you ain't never been a slave. You've never been oppressed. Yeah, I have been oppressed. And that don't mean that slavery was not in my family, just 3-4 generations down the line. So the same way you lost ancestors in that stupid ass Confederate War when y'all got y'all ass whooped, and y'all call it Southern heritage, yeah. We still represent for our family members too that we lost. We call it getting even, selling the score. We gonna get some of that generational wealth. Come on. We need a reparations task force down here in Florida. Let's run it. But see, this is only happening in blue states. So we got to vote blue to try to get reparations, and the Democrats got it right there on their website that they are not entertaining any talks of reparations. But we know that California is a blue state, and Evansville or Evanstown, Illinois, they passed a reparations bill about a year ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's slowly coming to light. Oh yeah. Let's get it. Go get the money.
Why is that part important? Because it shows the linear cause and effect relationship. Well, government is the cause, and you are the effect. Same government is in place. Said same government should have, well, the opportunity and the fortitude to remedy. You deserve the repair, which is reparation. Not a handout, never has been. And America is for reparation. America is simply not for reparations as it relates to Black people. The reparations argument has been successfully argued and executed for the Japanese, Native Americans, definitely not to the tune that it should.
The J community.
Holocaust survivors.
Yep.
Receive reparations.
January 6th.
Joe Biden, champion. Reparations is common in America. The most immediate recommendations for reparations include housing and economic justice, providing physical and mental health support, and centering Black youth, which is remarkable. The report also calls for a permanent, fully funded Office of Reparations and healthcare that addresses intergenerational trauma and health disparities. They're not trying to create an unequal playing field. They are attempting to remedy the wrongs. Jesse Jackson said something to me years ago, God rest his soul, and it was one of the wisest things I ever heard in my life. He said, imagine being on a football team and all of your coaches tell you all you have to do is get out there, play your best, score more points. You win the game. You know the rules of the game. The field looks even, and you have people cheering for you. You get to the fourth quarter, you're 7 points ahead, there's 1 second left on the clock. You have won the game. There's just no way for them to beat. Let's say you're 12 points ahead, or 20. When the buzzer hits 0, the officials tell you, well, you actually lost still. You did not win the game because before the game started, your opponent, the opposite team, they inherited 100 points before they got to the field.
I've been on that field bucking. I've been on that field
Whether you are
bucking.
nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, these brand new smart glasses, developed over 5 years by...
That is what reparations is about. The history, 1960s. County authorities declare Russell City blighted and used eminent domain, government takeover, to acquire close to 700 parcels. That one move displaced roughly 1,400 residents, converting the land into an industrial park annexed by Hayward in 1964. Today, nothing of the historic Black and Latino community survived, except the names of Calpine Russell City Energy Center, a natural gas power plant. The Fifth Amendment allows the government to steal private property for public use and requires it.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? The Fifth Amendment allows the government to seize private property for public use and requires it to pay just compensation in return. So they can steal your land and only compensate you, not pay you what it's worth, not buy you out, compensate you. That could be pennies on the dollar. That could be pennies on the dollar, y'all.
To pay just compensation in return. The language is ambiguous intentionally. Research by the city of Hayward found some Russell City homeowners received around $2,000 for their homes, some as little as $250. And they would.
Do y'all hear that? These people received around $2,000 for their home, and some as little as $250 when the racist government stole their property for public use. $2,000 is down no rent or down mortgage now. What the hell? It's definitely strong on robbery. It's definitely strong on robbery. What the hell?
Totally. Founded in 1853. Russell City was named for a gold rush era school teacher, Joel Russell. The neighborhood filled in as World War II drew workers from nearby factories at a time when racial covenants and redlining stopped Black folk and Latino families elsewhere. Unincorporated Russell City became one of the few places in the East Bay where they could buy property.
And this is all the stuff in history that we could pull up and talk about. And they hate it. They will come in here, man, with the red nose, wrinkled forehead, veins popping out of their neck syndrome. You know what I'm saying? They know they fighting going through radiation and fighting cancer right now. They still come here and stretch themselves out because we are bringing up their history. Why don't you like history? Because it's not equivalent to the history you teach in your indoctrinated learning facilities? Huh? Because it actually paints you as being the diabolical, nefarious monsters that you are? the egregious creatures that your God made you? Huh? Because we know in these schools, oh no, we got to make them look good in these history books. We got to make them look good. We got to make them look good, y'all. The history books they got in school is no different from that Bible. It's going to make YTs look good and make black people, well, you're going to start from slavery. I just said something. I just said something. Y'all better think about what I just said. Y'all better think about what I just said. Mm-hmm. Y'all better think about what I just said.
Being built. Families kept sheep, chickens, pigs, and rabbits. Tended gardens big enough to feed neighbors. Decades later, Hayward and the county issued formal apologies to community members in 2021 and 2023, respectively. So there's always this logistical concern as it relates to the conversation of reparations. Once again, it only pops up when we talk about reparations for Black people. Several speakers pressed the board on how the money will be divided. Priscilla Figueroa, a Hayward resident whose late husband's family lived in Russell City, noted that 1.3 million divided by 25,000 covers only 52 households in question. How the county would determine who receives the full amount. Deborah Harris, who grew up in Russell City with her parents, posed a question to the county: how will they handle households where the original landowner has died, adding that, quote, probably all of the original landowners are deceased at this point, end quote. The first phase of reparations is deliberately narrow. To qualify, an applicant must have both lived in and personally owned a home in Russell City between the 1st of January 1961 and December 31st, 1964, and had that property taken by eminent domain during those years. Money is allocated by household rather than by person, and split evenly among qualifying residents of the same home. Once those payments go out, Alameda County Supervisor Elisa Marquez said, the working group will release criteria for a second phase that includes descendants, though that will require another board vote. I want to say this: God bless you for doing it. Some people will cite, well, you didn't do enough research. You should have involved this organization or that organization. Yeah, maybe. But damn it, you're doing something.
Right, it's a start.
And I'm thankful for that. You're moving it.
It's a start. It's a start. It's a start. It's a conversation, and it's a start. So we'll take it. We'll take it. We will take it. All right, on to more news. On to more news. Mississippi. You're still a topic of discussion here. Mississippi.
Family, another Black person was found hung in Mississippi. Yeah, a Black woman, 29 years old, by the name of Tasha Fortune. On August 3rd, 2026. Yeah, 2026, not 1906, 2026. Tasha Fortune was found hanging from a tree behind a vacant home in Jackson, Mississippi. And as I record this, her official cause and manner of death have not been publicly determined. Okay. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you that Tasha Fortune, she was lynched, okay? And I don't act like I know what happened, but what I do know is that we have every damn right to have our questions answered, knowing the history of Mississippi. We talk about a 29-year-old Black woman, beautiful young woman, found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. So we can't separate the image from
2 children. She had a baby that's like a year or 2 old now. They say she just had another young baby like last year. Very beautiful woman. Very beautiful. And they say that she was there for some days before she was discovered, y'all. This sister didn't deserve this. And those children didn't deserve this. And that community don't deserve this. And we, the indigenous, don't deserve this. And we are tired of this. If we got to cut down every damn tree in this damn country to keep this from happening, it's time to start taking some type of damn action. It's time to start taking some type of damn action.
American history, right? You can't tell us black folk don't make this about race when America spent generations making a black body hanging from a tree one of the most recognizable symbols of racial terror in this country, particularly.
And I'm going to say once more that we have never experienced peace in this country. We have never saw peace, and we have never saw a non-black person extended vertically from a tree branch. I'm just gonna leave that there because this sister is pretty much saying the same thing.
In Mississippi. First, let's talk about Tasha Fortune. Tasha Fortune was found behind a vacant house in Jackson, and authorities have said her body may have been there for several days. And her family wants answers, her community wants answers, and even Bernice King, the daughter of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, has publicly called for a transparent investigation. Now let's stop there. We as black people, we have called on the government to be transparent and do this, do that. I was even listening to Al Sharpton this morning's radio show. He was talking about how we should march, and you are applying old techniques. That doesn't work anymore because they expect y'all Negroes to just march, locking arms. That doesn't do anything to them. It doesn't frighten them. It doesn't intimidate them. I'm sorry. It is a point in time where we have to start thinking, okay, how do we fight evil with evil, huh? How do we fight this? A march? A march. We still don't know what happened to Sweet Nolan Wells. You can march every day, 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's not going to move the government. We as black people are going to have to start being more strategic in how we handle this. They know people like Al Sharpton. They can read it like a book. That's why I'm saying the newer, younger people, you all have got to come up with ways and techniques that we're going to fight this. And that's why so many of you all who are in the legal field, you're in politics, you've got to use your power, ability, and influence to come and get these answers and prosecute these people who are doing this. Because even statistics show that the largest number of people who are offing themselves are not black folk. We fall number 9 on the list. White folks score way higher than we do. You know why? Because we're used to struggle. We don't off ourselves. I'm not saying there are outliers, but it's more not the norm. So, asking questions is not an accusation. See, these white folk get offended. You see how they've been offended anytime Nolan Wells' family and his attorneys are asking questions? Hell, anytime the public, these children, Nolan's, quote, friends, their family will hire lawyers to sue content creators for speaking out against this. But asking a question is not...
All I got to say is, I ain't marching. I done got old. Marching don't do nothing but get us tired. If you want to go out there and march, you might as well start jogging in the morning too before the sun come up. Get your cardio up. Get yourself healthy. I ain't marching. I got arthritis, gout, you know what I'm saying? All of that. All of that. All of that. I ain't marching. You know what I'm saying? I ain't marching. Call me when it's really time to fight. I ain't marching.
Accusation, accountability means, what does the autopsy show? What does toxicology show? What does the scene investigation show? You mean to tell me in this time...
White people have such a funny language, don't they? Thank you, Cherry. Is this a anti-circumcision show? And white people are so... God, dog it, I feel sorry for them. God, dog, I feel so sorry for them. Damn. God damn, they weird as hell.
Of cameras and surveillance, you can't tell me that we can't pull some of the footage from the what are they doing?
Come on, let's hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit that like button.
Space satellites. I know we can. You're damn lie. Let somebody get out here and start lynching white kids. You think they won't be pulling satellite footage and images and hidden cameras that you all don't know exist in these communities? On the ground and in this...
See, she's saying the same thing I'm saying. Listen, she just said, let them start. Listen to her words, y'all. I'm telling you, this is how you know black people getting fed up and white people aren't thinking this through. The YT supremacists who are out here, you know what I mean, like extending us from tree branches aren't thinking this through because it could very easily turn into them being extended from these tree branches. People tired, man. Listen to what this sister said, man.
Pull some of the footage from the what are they in space satellites? I know we can. You're a damn lie. Let somebody get out here and start lynching white kids. You think they won't be pulling satellite footage and images and hidden cameras that you all don't know exist in these communities? On the ground and in the, and up on poles and in trees? Come on now. The watchers are watching the watchers. What did her phone records show? Were there any witnesses? Who was she with? That's investigation, y'all. And until that investigation is complete, nobody should be rushing to declare either suicide or murder. But you're not going to play in our faces and make us think that we're crazy when we know the history of Mississippi. Why hanging? If you're going to off this young lady, if you're going to off people, why the hanging? And see, Tasha's death did not occur in a historical vacuum. Less than a year earlier, another black Mississippian was found hanging. His name was I'm going to say it right. Demartravian Trey Reed. Call him Trey. He was only 21 years old. On September 15, 2025, he was found hanging from a tree on the campus of Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi. Mississippi's state medical examiner ruled his death as suicide. That's a lot of work to take yourself out on a tree. It really is. Like, I'm serious. If you look at statistics, and I'm going to do another teaching on that, when we do, as black people, the few cases of blacks compared to other ethnic groups and races who off themselves, the weapon of choice is not a noose. It's not. It's not a noose. That's not how we are. It's not who we are as a people. Those are facts. But here's another fact. His family wanted more answers, and they sought an independent autopsy and greater transparency surrounding his death. And as recently as of July 2026, members of Trey's family are still publicly saying that they have not received the full independent autopsy findings that have been promised. You know, it's so frustrating. Honestly, I wish every black person in Mississippi would get the fuck out of there. Honestly, I do. Let those racist, vile infidels have that godforsaken state anyway. It's nothing but blood of slaves on that land. And when God judges that land, I hope every last redneck, racist bastard whose ancestors participated in slavery and who have not renounced racism, I hope they burn. If you all can leave Mississippi, get the fuck out of there, y'all. Black people, you don't need to be in Mississippi. Ain't not a damn thing there. Let the economy fall. Let them have that nasty ass, stinking ass, podunk state. The atrocities that has happened there. You think those demons just dissipate when the people died? You think the slave owners who had slaves and lynched and castrated and did all manner of evil to black people, do you think that they didn't pass that down to their ancestors and the people who are living there today? That's why they're so easy for them to perpetrate that type of evil and vile things. It's because it's in their blood, it's in their DNA, baby. It's part of psychology and pathology. And only two things can change a person like that. Either God himself has to cause a major shift in their life, either to their health, to their body, to the children they love, to someone very dear to them, where it snatches them from hate to repentance to love. That's the only thing. Or they die. And they can't pass that hate on anymore. If you're a black and you live in Mississippi, and if you can get the fuck out, get out. Get out.
Just like the movie.
Every state in the South has its stain.
Just like the movie, Get Out. That's why I said, man, like this is the best time. This is if we were gonna start somewhere, if we were gonna start somewhere, exposing racism and tearing down, you know, the KKK and white nationalists and all of this stuff, prejudice, you know, Mississippi is a great start. Historically, it is a great start, you know, a great start. A great start.
Of chattel slavery. Every. But there are some places you travel and you can feel the heat of oppression. I've been to Mississippi before. I went on a missions trip back in the, I think it was the late 90s. Some parts of Mississippi is like 40 years behind.
See, right now, we're talking about Trey Reed. We're talking about the sister Tasia Fortune or Tasha Fortune. We're talking about Nolan Wells. We forget about Medgar Evers. We forget about Emmett Till. There's so there's the baby Chloe, the 15-year-old. I can't remember her last name, but I remember her first name is Chloe. Okay, the 15-year-old that they just found unalive. I mean, there's so many man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
If you can get the fuck out of Mississippi, get out of there.
Get out.
Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Why do you think the mass exodus back in the late 50s and early 60s of black people leaving the South, going up north to DC?
This is why I'm such a strong advocate, y'all, for segregation. This is why I'm such a strong advocate for segregation, y'all. If we were to segregate and have our own black states, our own black communities, I guarantee it won't be nobody hanging, there won't be nobody extended vertically from a tree. It won't be nobody black. We won't hear about these cases. We won't hear about these cases. Now, they might start doing it to each other. I'm pretty sure they're doing it to each other in Europe before they came across the Atlantic. I'm pretty sure they were doing that to each other. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. Facts, I feel the same way. They need to leave and find a place where they can live and be YT together and stop the senseless unalivings and crime because they don't want to share the state they belong. Yeah, segregation, man. Segregation. Segregation. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm all for it. Yolanda say facts. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? And that would be my cappuccino. But I'm all for it.
See Philly, New York, for a better life. Even though racism was there, it sure as hell wasn't like that. So, beautiful Tasha, beautiful Nolan, beautiful Trey Reed, we pray that God and the ancestors do two things: reveal the truth and pay back to those demons who did this to them 100-fold what was done to these people. Yeah. It's a time to pray, and it is a time for war. Negroes been praying and marching too long. You want to hurt these white folk? Get out of their economy. Leave Mississippi. Let them have it.
Get out of Mississippi. Let them have it. I tell you, man, Mississippi has a terrible history, man. A very racist history. Very racist history. I'm not only saying get out of Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? We really need to push getting our own damn land, man. You know, we really need to push finding some type of black reservation. You know what I mean? An indigenous reservation. We really need our own land. I think at this point we've earned the right. You know what I'm saying? We've won the right. We fought for the right to not have to live around these people and constantly endure their racism, endure their discrimination. And then they turn a blind eye to it and say things like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh, stop waiting for a handout. You've never been a slave. Perpetual victim mentality. But when everything points back to them, they holler, per capita or you're a racist. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. But let's get into this. I ain't done. I told y'all I was laying into Mississippi this morning.
What if I told you this dish was actually healthy?
I told y'all I was gonna lay into Mississippi this morning. Huh? Didn't I tell y'all that? I told y'all I was gonna lay into Mississippi. So we gonna keep reminding Mississippi of Mississippi. Huh? We gonna keep reminding Mississippi of Mississippi. If you're just not coming in, please hit that like button. You know, hit that subscribe button. Pick a membership package. We'll be more than happy to have you. You know, we getting the work done. But we gonna keep that pressure on Mississippi.
Let's be real. Factor's menu is way healthier than the competition. Their chefs actually know what they're doing. Every meal's balanced and built to support my goals. I needed...
Days later, a car swerved at Medgar in a parking lot, nearly running...
Hold on.
If it doesn't work for you, we promise 10 times your money back. This product works in just 1 second to fit perfectly and is suitable for everyone. Simply soak it in hot water to activate the elastic material.
Now we get into the story of Medgar Evers.
Stop wasting money on expensive dental clinics and custom dentures. This 8th generation smart fit dentures.
From a honeysuckle thicket across the street, he staggered toward
Mississippi, 1963. Cold case solved after 31 years. After 31 years. Justice for Medgar Evers. Mississippi, y'all. Mississippi. It took 31 years. 31 years.
On the night of June 12, 1963, Medgar Evers pulled into the driveway of his home in Jackson, Mississippi, carrying an armload of t-shirts that read "Jim Crow must go." Hours earlier, President Kennedy had gone on national television to declare civil rights a moral crisis. For the first time, it felt like the country might actually be changed.
And salute to JFK, man. JFK was actually doing that work for us, man. A lot of people don't know that, but JFK wasn't having that racist crowd, man. JFK wasn't feeling that. He wasn't feeling it.
Evers never made it to his front door. A single bullet from a high-powered rifle struck him in the back from a honeysuckle thicket across the street. He staggered toward the house, collapsed, and died less than an hour later. He was 37 years old. The man who killed him left behind a rifle with his own fingerprint on the scope. He left behind a car that neighbors had seen parked nearby for days. He left behind a trail of evidence so obvious that in any other state, in any other decade, the trial would have lasted a week. But this was Mississippi in 1963. By 1969, Byron Della Beckwith had walked free, welcomed home as a hero in his hometown of Greenwood. It took 31 years, a widow who never stopped fighting, a newspaper reporter who uncovered a state conspiracy, and a prosecutor willing to risk his career on a case the entire system wanted to stay buried. This is the story of how the longest cold case in civil rights history was finally solved. And it starts long before the bullet. If you're the kind of person who stays for the full story, who wants to know not just what happened, but why justice took 3 decades to arrive, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing to Cold Case Redemption. We go
Mississippi, man. 3 decades. Did y'all hear the party say they left fingerprints on the scope and he left his car and they had all the evidence they needed? They had all the evidence they needed.
Deep on the cases everyone else forgot. Now, to understand why Medgar Evers was killed, you have to understand what he was doing in Mississippi. And to understand that, you have to know where he came from. Medgar Wiley Evers was born on July 2nd, 1925, in Decatur, Mississippi, the third of 4 children. His parents, James and Jesse Evers, were working class people.
Now, just to show y'all how deep this go, my mother's mother, meaning my grandma, was born in 1926. So do we want to talk about my great-grandmother and my great-great-grandmother? Do y'all really want to tell us what we haven't experienced? What our ancestors, our family didn't live through? My mom just turned 70. She was born in 1956. Her mother was born in 1926. She's no longer with us. We lost her July 4th of 2001. But if we go back to my great-grandmother, Winnie Johnson, okay. Now, if my grandmother was born in 1926, what year do you think my great-grandmother, Winnie Johnson, was born in? What do you think she experienced? And that's what? 1, 2, 3. I just went back 3 generations. Maybe 4 at the most.
Who stressed 2 things above all else: education and financial independence. In a state where black families were expected to stay quiet, stay poor, and stay in their place, those values were quietly radical. Decatur wasn't a town that let you forget the rules. When Medgar was a boy, a family friend was lynched. Afterward, the man's bloody clothes were left hanging on a fence as a warning. Not hidden, not removed. Left there for the whole community to see for weeks until the fabric rotted away. That image stayed with Evers for the rest of his life. He walked roughly 12 miles each way to a segregated school. He and his brother Charles grew up understanding exactly what Mississippi thought of them. And they grew up deciding quietly that Mississippi was wrong. In 1943, at 18 years old, Evers was inducted into the United States Army. He served in a segregated unit during World War II, fought across France during the Normandy campaign, and saw some of the...
A segregated unit. A segregated unit. You got to fight for the country. But y'all black folks gonna fight separate for the white folks, but y'all fighting for the same country. And when you're done, we gonna treat you just like the black folks you are. Man, this sun can't get hot enough, man. This sun cannot get hot enough, man. I'm trying to tell you, this sun cannot cook them fast enough, man. And they would come in here and say the most outrageous things to try to save face. They would call us racist. They'll call us racist and never once consider their own behaviors, their own history. This is all, man, come on, man. Come on, man.
Worst combat the European theater had to offer. Black soldiers fought in separate units, ate in separate mess halls, and slept in separate barracks. They were expected to risk the same death as everyone else, and then return to a country that treated them as something less than citizens. Evers was honorably discharged as a sergeant in 1945. He had helped liberate a continent from fascism. He came home to a state that would not let him drink from the same water fountain as a white man.
Mississippi. 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 Here we go.
He later said it plainly. We fought during the war for America, and Mississippi was included. Now, after the Germans and the Japanese hadn't killed us, it looked as though the white Mississippians would. Coming home made that contradiction impossible to ignore. In 1946, Medgar and Charles Evers, along with several other black veterans, decided to register to vote in Decatur. They were testing a simple proposition.
Ooh, Cherry Shortcake say, oof, oof. She say some really unfortunate happenings that resemble hell on earth. So unbelievably unbearable situations our bloodlines have dealt with and lived through, and that's right. Every day I pray for the sun to never set and get so close to the earth it starts trees on fire everywhere. Oof, oof. They'll think Jesus coming back.
They had served their country. They had bled for it. Surely they had earned the right to participate in its democracy. They filled out the paperwork. They followed every rule. And on election day, they put on their best clothes and walked to the polls. An armed white mob was waiting for them. Not police, not election officials. Armed civilians, standing between the veterans and the ballot box. The Evers brothers and their fellow veterans were turned away at gunpoint. None of them voted that day. And the message was clear. Your military service means nothing here. Your citizenship means nothing here.
Are you LLC curious? Wondering, is it time to make my business official? With Busy, forming your...
Mississippi makes its own rules. That moment did something to Medgar Evers that the war had not. It didn't break him. It focused him. From that day forward, he knew exactly what he was going to spend his life fighting. He enrolled at Alcorn Agricultural and Mechanical College, where he met a young woman named Merle Beasley. She was 18 years old, from Vicksburg, and she saw in Medgar someone whose ambition went far beyond what Mississippi would comfortably allow. They married on Christmas Eve, 1951. He played football, studied business, and started planning a life that looked nothing like the one Mississippi had laid out for him.
If you're just joining us, this is the story of Medgar Evers, another life that was taken in Mississippi, in which it took 31 years to get justice. 31 years for brother Medgar Evers, who was actually one of my favorite people too. He was one of my favorite people. You know what I'm saying? This brother was the truth. He was the truth. All right. Cherry Shortcake, Jacqueline just texted me and told me thanks for sending your number over.
After graduation, Evers applied to the University of Mississippi Law School. His application was rejected because of his race. That rejection, in the wake of the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court, ruling that declared school segregation unconstitutional, brought him to the attention of the national NAACP. In December 1954, Medgar Evers became the first NAACP field secretary in the state of Mississippi. He was 29 years old, and he had just taken on the most dangerous job in the most dangerous state in the country for a black man with a mission. His office was in Jackson, but his territory was the entire state. He drove more than 42,000 miles in his first 3 years alone, crisscrossing Mississippi to recruit NAACP members, organize voter registration drives, and investigate racial violence. When 14-year-old Emmett Till was abducted and murdered in the Mississippi Delta in 1955, Evers was one of the people who...
And that was 1 year before my mom was born. 1 year before my mom was born.
Tracked down witnesses and gathered evidence. He helped organize economic boycotts of white-owned businesses in Jackson. He advised James Meredith during the 1962 campaign to integrate the University of Mississippi, a crisis that ended with federal troops on campus and riots that left 2 people dead. By the spring of 1963, Evers was leading a full-scale civil rights campaign in Jackson, boycotts of downtown stores, sit-ins at segregated lunch counters. The Woolworth sit-in on May 28, 1963, turned into one of the most violent confrontations of the entire movement when a white mob attacked demonstrators, dousing them with condiments and beating them while...
We always hear about those white mobs, don't we? And they always say that we come in packs. They always say that we have to jump people and we come. We always hear about these white mobs. See, these people never tell the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Every story you hear, especially about these massacres over voting rights and stuff, you hear these angry white mobs, man, coming after sundown. After sundown, of course. They're not going to come when the sun is up. No, they don't want to cook on the way. They don't want to end up being a stir fry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my grandmother was in her 30s. Probably just now touching her 30s when that happened to Emmett Till. My grandma was born in 1926. Emmett Till was 1950. Yeah, she was like 29 years old. She was 29 years old. Yeah. See, this hits home. This hits home. And my grandma gave birth to my mama a year later after this happened to Emmett Till. My mom was born in 1956, August of 56. So all of this was not so long ago. We have to understand that Emmett Till would probably still be alive today. You know.
Police stood by and watched. Evers was the man organizing all of it. And Mississippi noticed. The people in charge of keeping the state segregated had a name for what Evers was doing. They called it agitation. But what Evers was doing was simpler than that. He was asking Mississippi to follow its own laws. He was asking Black Mississippians to believe they had rights and then to act on that belief. And in 1963, Mississippi, that was the most dangerous thing a person could do. His name had appeared on a death list since 1955. That is not a figure of speech. White supremacist groups in Mississippi maintained actual lists of Black leaders targeted for assassination, and Medgar Evers was near the top. The threats came constantly, by phone, by mail, sometimes delivered in person. Strange car.
They're just doing what they always do, y'all. They're just doing what they always do. If they're not unhappy about something, their threats start. They're threatening people right now over the Nolan Wells case. They are threatening people right now for talking about Nolan Wells. Yeah, this is what they do, man. They were threatening people over Charlie Kirk. Y'all remember that? They was calling people jaws and getting people fired. Huh? But they can say all these bad things about Nolan Wells and these people still have jobs. They still have jobs, you know? I'm just saying. This is Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen. There is no better place to start. If you're going to come in and, you know, kind of excavate, not escalate, but excavate, you're going to just go in digging. You're going to go in digging and tearing up to get to the truth. Mississippi is a great place to start, if not the best place to start. And you damn right they mad about that in Mississippi right now, because they're used to getting their way. And they sure as hell ain't happy that they have to answer to Black people. We're just supposed to shut up and dribble. We're just supposed to take whatever they say at face value and run with it, and that's that. No. No. And I ain't forgot about Brother Carmelo Anthony. And I ain't forgot about Brother Tyler Smith. And I ain't forgot about Brother Daniel Irvin. So we've got to travel abroad getting justice. Huh? It's pull-up season. We got to let them know we ain't playing on social media. We ain't playing. Ben Crump said to all Black content creators, keep doing what you're doing. Pass everything. Publish everything. Make people start asking questions. And you know, I'm going to do what Ben Crump say do. I'm going to do what Ben Crump say do. Cherry shortcakes. Yep, that's crazy. Nothing has changed in almost 100 plus years. Sickening. Our community's progress never stops. This is what they attack our people for brains they haven't got. Exactly. Exactly.
Cars followed Murley when she drove the children to school. The police didn't investigate the threats. In some cases, police officers were the ones following her. In late May 1963, just weeks before the murder, someone threw a Molotov cocktail into the family's carport. The fire could have spread.
Now that puts my mom at 7 years old. So understand that I would have had to talk to my grandmother about Emmett Till, not my mother. My mother was just 7 years old. My mother only knows what she lived through before integration. Before integration. Do y'all see how this is the trickle-down effect? Do y'all see how we have to pass down this type of history, this type of trauma? While they pass down businesses and generational wealth and lies and deceit, and they pass down our land and our resources. Do y'all see the turmoil that we have to pass down generations? Do y'all see it? Now, my great-grandmother, Winnie Johnson, seen it. My grandmother, Katherine Johnson, a.k.a. Catherine Neal, seen it. My mother, Sheena, seen it. I'm her baby boy. I'm seeing it. What the fuck? It has to make you think at some point. We all have the same story. We all have seen the same thing at the hands of the same people. And we ain't tired yet. I just named 4 damn generations in my family. And we're not tired? Man, I ain't marching for shit. Call me when it's belt to ass time.
To the house where the children were sleeping. Merely put out the flames with a garden hose. Days later, a car swerved at Medgar in a parking lot, nearly running him down. He reported it. Nothing happened. The Evers family lived under siege, and they organized their lives around that reality. Medgar and Merely slept with guns within reach, and they had a drill, rehearsed with their 3 children. Daryl was 9, Rena was 8, little James was only 3 years old. If you hear gunshots, you drop to the floor, you crawl to the bathroom, you get into the cast iron bathtub. The bathtub was heavy enough to stop a bullet. That was the safest place in the house. Think about that for a second. A father in America in 1963, drilling his children on how to survive an assassination attempt inside their own home.
And in 2026, we are talking to our kids about what to do when law enforcement approach you, about going on boating trips and being the only black person, about dating white women. You know, we still having these same conversations. They've just added more conversations. Because now we got to add in, if you see an angry white subject walking to a school with a firearm, here's what you do too. We got to factor in so many more. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. This is really like, oh boy, this is hitting home. This is kind of upsetting me. This is kind of upsetting me. Let's go.
Not because of a random crime, not because of a bad neighborhood, because of the work he did, because he believed black people in Mississippi deserved to vote. Evers knew what was coming. He had told friends that he expected to be killed. He had told Merle the same thing. He once said, "I'm looking to be shot anytime I step out of my car. If I die, it will be in a good cause." And in his final days, worn down by months of threats and violence and relentless organizing, he told Merle something she would carry for the rest of her life. "I'm so tired," he said. "I don't think I can go on, but I can't stop." He also told her, "I love my children, and I love my wife with all my heart, and I would die gladly, if that would make a better life for them." That was the man Byron Dilla Beckwith chose to kill. Not a soldier on a battlefield, not a criminal, a father, a husband, a veteran. A man who spent his days driving country roads so that other people could register to vote. If this case is hitting different for you, go ahead and hit that like button. We cover stories like this every week on Cold Case Redemption.
This is Fracture. Just upload an image, place your order, and it'll show up at your door, beautifully printed directly on glass. And this isn't just another frame, not just another canvas. This is new. This is a Fracture.
Cases that went cold for years.
You know, they show up and they say things like, "Stop playing victim." And they don't realize that it's insinuating them allegedly victimizing people, but being upset because people are actually speaking out against them in their egregious activities. Can you imagine one of them people touching a child the wrong way and then telling the child, "Stop playing victim"? But at the same time, we raise a child, if you see something, say something. And now you're mad because this child has saw what you did to him and or her, and they're saying something to someone about it, and you're gonna tell them to stop playing victim. You're gonna tell a group of people you oppressed for hundreds of years to stop playing victim? You're going to tell a group of people you're still vertically extending from tree branches, still in 2026, to tell that you're going to tell them to stop playing victim? But I ain't heard y'all yet tell Chud the Builder stop playing victim. Tell Jake Lane stop playing victim. Tell Shiloh Hendricks stop playing victim. I ain't heard that yet. I ain't heard that. And I know I won't.
Years, sometimes decades, until someone refused to let them stay buried. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, June 12th, 1963. That evening, something remarkable happened. President John F. Kennedy went on national television and delivered the most forceful civil rights address any sitting president had ever given. He declared that America faced a moral crisis. He called for sweeping civil rights legislation. For the first time, the President of the United States spoke about racial equality, not as a political problem, but as a moral imperative. Medgar Evers was not home to watch it. He was...
Salute to JFK, man. I told y'all JFK was about that life.
At an NAACP rally at a church in Jackson. But his wife Nearly and their 3 children watched the speech from the living room. The children were supposed to be in bed, but Nearly let them stay up. It felt important. It felt like something was changing. After the speech ended, the children kept waiting up. They wanted to see their father when he got home. Just after midnight, Evers pulled his 1962 Oldsmobile into the driveway. He stepped out of the car carrying the Jim Crow Must Go t-shirts from the rally. He was alone. From a honeysuckle thicket across the street, roughly 150 feet away, someone was watching through the scope of a 1917 Enfield rifle. A single shot cracked through the warm Mississippi night. The bullet struck Evers in the back, tore through his body, passed through the living room window, punched through an interior wall, ricocheted off the refrigerator, and came to rest on the kitchen counter. The children, who had been taught the drill, hit the floor. Then they heard their father. Murley ran to the front door and opened it. Medgar Evers was lying face down in the driveway, dragging himself toward the doorstep, leaving a trail of blood across the concrete. The children ran outside, screaming. "Daddy, get up, please! Daddy, get up!" Neighbors rushed to help. They looked.
Whew, this is a lot right here, man. This is a lot right here, man. For anyone who hadn't heard the Medgar Evers story or wasn't familiar with what happened to Medgar Evers, ladies and gentlemen, this is still Mississippi. This is still Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen. The wife had to see that. The kids are running outside seeing this. They said the kids was what, 8, 9, and what, 3 years old? Man. Whew. It takes a lot to stomach this stuff, man. It takes a lot to like really, man. This is devastating, man. This is devastating.
Loaded Evers into a station wagon and raced to the University of Mississippi Medical Center. He was initially turned away because of his race. He was eventually admitted, but it was too late. Medgar Evers was pronounced dead at 1:23 in the morning. He was...
This man got a whole doggone firearm wound, if I can say that. And you turn him away because of his race. You turn him away because this lets you know just how racist these people are. I've heard people say, oh, these same YTs, that's racist. If they needed blood, if they needed a doctor to save their life, they don't care what color the doctor is. I'm sure Medgar Evers didn't care what color the doctor was either, but they didn't want to save his life. They didn't want to save it. This is disgusting, man. This is really this is some hatred. They can't call us racist. I don't see us ever doing stuff like this, man. I could live with myself morally if I was this way. I couldn't do that. I don't know how I don't know how they wake up and live with themselves. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. That would drive me insane. I could not wake up and be that evil of a human being, man.
37 years old. On June 19th, 1963, he was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. Thousands attended. The NAACP posthumously awarded him its highest honor, the Spingarn Medal. The nation mourned. And Merle Evers, at 30 years old with 3 children, began a fight that would consume the next 3 decades of her life. The question now was simple. Who pulled the trigger? The answer came fast. Too fast, in a way, for Mississippi to handle. The morning after the murder, police found the Enfield rifle in the honeysuckle thicket. It was a motorized military rifle, the kind a former serviceman might customize. Mounted on it was a telescopic sight. And on that sight was a single, clear, unmistakable fingerprint. The fingerprint was matched using military records. It belonged to Byron Della Beckwith, a 42-year-old fertilizer salesman from Greenwood, Mississippi. Beckwith was born in 1920 in Colusa, California. His father, the town postmaster, died when Byron was 5. His mother died when he was 12. Orphaned before he was a teenager, he was sent to live with his maternal uncle in Greenwood, Mississippi, deep in the Delta. He grew up in a world that told him every single day that his whiteness made him superior, and he believed it completely. He enlisted in the Marine Corps in January 1942 and served as a machine gunner in the...
Someone told him and he believed it completely. He believed it completely. You're not superior. If you can't withstand the sun's UV rays, you are not superior. You have to be melanated to be superior, to be a day walker.
Pacific. He fought at Guadalcanal. He was wounded at the Battle of Tarawa, one of the bloodiest engagements in Marine Corps history. He was honorably discharged in 1945. Like Medgar Evers, Byron Della Beckwith was a veteran who had fought for his country. But where Evers came home and fought for equality, Beckwith came home and dedicated his life to making sure equality would never arrive. After the war, Beckwith settled into life.
Ain't that something? They fought in the same war together. They were in service at the same time. One came home to fight for civil rights and the other came home to make sure that, the indigenous never got civil rights. But you fought for the same country. And you're located inside the same state. And you were brothers in arms, whether you like it or not. This is deceptive. Now that's the tale they take with Nolan Wells. I thought these were my brothers. I thought we were brothers in arms. Y'all gonna do this to me? Medgar Evers had to think the same thing. I thought we were brothers in arms. We fought in the same war. Served the same military purpose, same military campaign, live in the same state. We did something honorable and noble for our country and for our state. And you gonna deceive me? Damn. So the whole time they was training this guy how to use weapons in the military, this guy was planning on coming home and unaliving Medgar Evers, who was also trained to use weapons to protect. This is crazy. This is crazy.
As a salesman in Greenwood, selling tobacco, then fertilizer. Never particularly successful at any of it. What he was successful at was hate. The 1954 Brown versus Board of Education ruling was his radicalizing moment. When the Supreme Court declared school segregation unconstitutional, Beckwith didn't see a legal ruling. He saw an attack on everything he believed the South was supposed to be. He joined the White Citizens Council in Greenwood immediately. The Citizens Council was the respectable face of white supremacy in Mississippi, sometimes called the Country Club Klan. Its members were bankers, lawyers, politicians, and business owners who used economic pressure and political influence to maintain segregation. Beckwith went further. He became associated with the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, the most...
There we go. There we go.
violent Klan faction in the South. He wrote letters to newspapers defending segregation in terms that left nothing to interpretation.
Yeah, Mississippi, man, has the biggest chapter of Klansmen. Matter of fact, they say Ocean Springs, Mississippi. It's the biggest chapter of the KKK. Yeah. That's what's controlling everything right now. I bet your old Jerry Ackerson is on it. I bet your old Jerry Ackerson is on it. I bet you.
Spoke openly about what he called absolute white supremacy under white Christian rule. He told people that there were only three kinds of people in Mississippi: whites, colored, and trash. And in his view, there was very little trash. Beckwith wasn't hiding in the shadows. He was standing in the spotlight, and he liked it there. He wanted people to know exactly who he was and what he stood for. The evidence against him was overwhelming.
You're doing all of this, and you don't unalive someone. You're not on a run. You're not hiding. They cleaned it up for you. They gave you a platform. Come on, man, the KKK. Did y'all hear this? Are y'all listening? Sherry said they're all trash. They got it right.
On the fingerprint, investigators confirmed that Beckwith owned the Enfield rifle, though he claimed it had been stolen. His white Plymouth Valiant had been spotted near the Evers home in the days leading up to the murder. A Jackson cab driver told police that Beckwith had been asking for directions to Evers's address. And Beckwith had no credible explanation for where he had been on the night of June 12th. He was arrested on June 23rd, 1963, 11 days after the killing. With that much physical evidence in a functioning justice system, the case should have been straightforward. This was not a functioning justice system. Not in Mississippi, not in 1963.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know are too.
All you do is go to this website, and it lets you find out exactly.
Beckwith went to trial twice in 1964. Both times the outcome was decided before a single witness was called. Here's why. In Mississippi, jury pools were drawn from voter registration rolls. Black citizens had been systematically excluded from voter registration since the state's 1890 Constitution.
Which means that he probably had an all-white jury, just like the clowns in the Emmett Till unaliving. Which means he's probably gifted with an all-white jury. A jury of his peers and his peers only. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm getting out of this.
Which meant the juries were all white.
There we go.
Drawn from communities where the White Citizens Council ran the civic life of the community, and where killing a black...
And they wonder why we're concerned about them changing the congressional voting maps. Because this is what you're gonna do. The same way you sway all of these laws so that it fits you. The same way that, they just said black people were locked out of the voting system, and they picked the jury based on those who were registered to vote. Only white people were really registered to vote at that time, because white people were stopping black people from registering to vote, although they had the right to vote. So these people were going in front of all white juries that was able to clean everything up for them, y'all. This has been the history of Mississippi. They're going to try to do the same thing in the Nolan Wells case. They're going to do this with every black case that comes through Mississippi in which a YT unalives a black person. They're never going to rule it a homicide. They're never going to, I'm telling you, they feel like they should be entitled to do us like this. So if they feel like they're entitled to do it to us, then we should feel equally entitled to do it to them, since we're all created equal, right? Huh? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Huh? Treat other people how you would like to be treated. Always, that's how they always have a conversation against the non-whites. And now it don't matter, it's rigged up. You have no option. Right. The only thing you got is your black dollar. Your black dollar. I really don't want to listen to this anymore. This is disturbing, man. I want to get away from this. So I just want to thank y'all for being up this morning, even though I made nothing. And this is why I don't go live. No one showed any support. Okay? This is a problem. So I bring y'all this information, but I'm not reaping any benefits from my work or my services. This is a problem. But if I was grifting like a Brandon Tatum, I'd be making money from that community. And I'm really thinking about switching over, because this is a slap in the damn face, black people. Every other content creator on YouTube has a tribe that supports them. This is freaking sad, man. Anyways, man, y'all know what it is, man. I'll shake.